Pay avoiding banks announce their own Beem mobile wallet. Three of Australia's largest banks, Westpac, the Commonwealth Bank of Australia, CBA, and the National Australia Bank, NAB, have continued to ignore Apple Pay and announced a new joint venture named Beem that is charged with developing a mobile wallet for iOS and Android users. According to the banks, customers will be able to use the app regardless of which bank they use, including organizations outside of the trio, with the end goal to be creating an industry-wide payment solution. Westpac Chief Executive of Consumer Bank George Frazis claimed the app followed in a line of innovative payment services in Australia, such as Eftpos. Customers will soon be able to Beem free payments instantly using any smartphone, regardless of who they bank with and without the need to add account details, he said. Innovations such as Beem and wearables are leading the way in payment solutions because they're convenient, easy to use, and fit in with people's lifestyles. We firmly believe in going to where our customers are and providing them with greater choice. Initial user testing will be driven by CBA, with the app to have a money sending limit of AU $200 each day and a monthly receiving limit of AU $10,000. The banks said each transaction would have real-time fraud monitoring. Earlier this year, the same trio of banks labeled Apple Pay alternatives unrealistic in the Australian market. These alternatives are unrealistic in Australia, which has the world's highest adoption of contactless NFC card payments and one of the world's highest iPhone market shares, particularly among customers likely to use mobile payments, the bank said in March. In Australia, potential mobile wallet providers other than Apple are locked out of the established payment infrastructure in respect of the clear majority of relevant customers. The outburst formed part of the arguments made by CBA, Westpac, NAB, and Bendigo and Adelaide Bank to have regulatory approval to collectively negotiate with third-party mobile providers such as Apple on conditions relating to competition, best practice standards, and efficiency. The cartel was ultimately denied the chance to collectively negotiate by the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission. Following that decision, the banks have introduced a range of payment solution alternatives despite their prior derision. Earlier this week, Westpac announced the launch of Payware, its own payment-enabled wearable devices that allow customers to tap and pay without their wallet or smartphone on all contactless-enabled terminals. CBA announced last month it will be allowing customers to make payments using their Garmin smartwatch payments via Fitbit Ionic. The only member of Australia's Big Four banks to break rank and support Apple Pay has been ANZ, which also offers Fitbit Pay, Android Pay, and Samsung Pay among its payments options. Eftpos has climbed aboard the Apple Pay train, announcing support for iPhone maker's wallet to make in-store Eftpos mobile payments with ANZ earlier this month. Reserve Bank offers new payments platform detail as launch push to 2018. The country's new real-time payments platform, to be soon rolled out by New Payments Platform Australia, will boast a 280-character description field. Westpac opts for own wearable Payware devices instead of plugging into devices manufactured by Garmin or Fitbit. The Australian bank has launched its own range of wearable, hands-free, and battery-free payment accessories. Kakao Pay garners 20 million users. Kakao has accumulated 20 million users for its mobile payment service, a figure that accounts for 72% of South Korea's economically active population, it is said. Australian finance sector not as keen on blockchain as hype suggests. Gartner has highlighted that curiosity is keeping the sector aware of the technology, but risk aversion is stopping it from being an investment priority.